I bought my daughter a mansion worth $1,000. So I'm the best father, right? If you oppose it, we'll get a divorce. My current husband, having decided to purchase a $1,000 mansion, relied on the life insurance money from my deceased former husband. But his plans weren't just limited to that. Realizing this, my heart turned cold in an instant, and I resolved not to show him any mercy. So if I oppose, we'll get a divorce. Please wait a moment then. I pulled out an envelope from my desk drawer, and from it, I took out the divorce papers, placing them in front of my husband. Here you go. I've already signed it, so I just need your signature. Seeing the divorce papers, my husband froze in silence. He had always been aware of my desk, but he probably never anticipated I would pull out already signed and stamped divorce papers from its drawer. But this is just the beginning. Thinking about the intense retaliation I'm about to unleash and his likely reaction, I can't help but feel a bit excited. My name is Julia Anderson. Soon I'll be turning 53 and I am an employee at a general trading company. I have loved and been good at French since my middle school days. In college, I worked hard at part-time jobs to save money, and with close friends I enjoyed traveling abroad. I married one of those travel buddies when I was 23. However, my husband from that time was struck by a drunk driver's car shortly after we returned from our honeymoon and passed away, leaving me behind. For several months after losing my beloved husband, I was unable to accept the reality and barely spoke at work. My husband had life insurance, and as the beneficiary I received $500,000. But having a job and no children, I didn't particularly need the money. I don't need the money. I just want my husband's life back. The person who was kind to me, always looking gloomy and only speaking about the work in front of me, was Oliver Anderson, my current husband. Oliver was a senior employee at the same company. He would initiate conversations with me when I dined alone in the company cafeteria. Do you eat here not only for lunch, but breakfast and dinner too? Yes, I am alone when I go home. Oliver listened attentively to my stories, nodding for hours at times. We began by talking in the cafeteria, but over time we chatted in cafes and parks. And before I knew it, I had fallen for him. At 26, I accepted his proposal and we remarried. I haven't forgotten my previous husband. The memories from our trips and the precious time we spent together still support me. And I haven't touched the $500,000 I received after his death. It's money to help me in an emergency, and I've decided not to use it until then. 2 years after remarrying Oliver, our daughter Anna was born. Anna, with her cute smile and honest nature, grew up quickly and is now working happily as a freelance designer. Last year, she rented a place near our home that doubles as her workspace. Despite her youth, she always seems so confident, making me, her mother, want to emulate her. If our marital relationship was good after raising our child, we could have enjoyed our free time together. However, since Anna started elementary school, our relationship hasn't been the best. Oliver doesn't like traveling, which I love very much. So we only went on one family trip. I don't like traveling, so I don't want to go as a family anymore. If my mother joins, it would be out of filial duty, so I would consider it. Traveling with a mother-in-law who loves to harass her daughter-in-law isn't something I want. As a result, I rarely had the chance to travel after getting married. Not just about traveling, Oliver always prioritized his mother over me or our daughter. The pinnacle of it all was when my mother-in-law seemed to take great pleasure in watching from the sidelines with a gleeful expression whenever she tormented me. When Anna was a senior in high school, our relationship as a couple worsened even further. It was due to a disagreement over Anna's future path. From the time Anna was born, my husband Oliver had a tendency to impose his self-created ideals on our daughter. His favorite word was the best. He wanted our daughter to attend a national university after graduating from a public high school and to work for a top-tier company. I, on the other hand, wanted her to have a well-rounded education and to pursue her own passions. But my husband and his mother were always anxious about Anna's test scores, constantly comparing her to their own expectations. Anna, being a straightforward person, would show her test papers not only to her parents, but also to her frequently visiting grandmother. She willingly did her homework and studied without complaint. In her third year of high school, Anna still had good grades as judged by her mock exam results. It seemed possible for her to pass the entrance exam to the nearest national university and commute from home. Oliver was pleased with this. However, she had her own dreams. Since junior high, Anna had been fascinated by the profession of a designer. In high school, she researched potential workplaces online and consulted her school's career counselor. She decided on several universities she wanted to attend, and then informed us. All of them were art and design-focused institutions, and none were close enough for her to commute from home. After hearing Anna's plans and attending the high school's parent-teacher-student conference, I agreed that she should take the entrance exams for these universities. But my husband and mother-in-law disagreed. Are you kidding me? With Anna's grades, she can attend a national university close to home, right? Then she should go to any department at a national university. Graduating from a national university and then working for a big company and eventually marrying a well-paid senior employee is the best choice, my husband argued. Exactly, Anna dear. Dreaming of a designer job and aiming for some university with a name no one in our neighborhood knows isn't smart enough, my mother-in-law added. Even if Dad and Grandma deny my dreams, my life is mine to decide, Anna said firmly. I didn't raise you to pursue such a career, my husband retorted. I couldn't stay silent any longer due to my husband's harsh words, I interjected. And don't say she certainly can't. Anna has researched future job opportunities and the curriculum of her prospective universities. She has also consulted with her high school teacher about her choices. Let's let her take the entrance exams for the universities she wants to attend, I suggested. Hearing my words, my husband became even more enraged. Anna is my daughter. She should follow her father's guidance, he insisted. There's an old saying, no advice to the father's right, my mother-in-law chimed in. I had to stand my ground. There are two parents, so doesn't that mean my opinion isn't wasted either? I argued. You always have to have the last word, don't you? My husband accused. I'm done talking to you two today. Mom and I are going out for dinner, I declared. Whenever our arguments put him at a disadvantage, my husband would always go out to eat with his mother, I added. I have a job that I want to dedicate my life to, and I found universities and departments that can provide the education I need to pursue that job. My husband, in his outdated thinking, keeps pushing her to attend a national university near home, I concluded. After graduating, I wanted to work for a top local company and marry someone successful there. However, despite being blessed with a wonderful daughter in our second marriage, it was disappointing to see how obstinate her father was. I believed that if Anna persisted, Oliver would eventually support her as a parent. But I was wrong. Despite our attempts and time spent, all our efforts to persuade him were in vain. From the husband's perspective, he was probably not pleased that his wife and daughter did not just do as he said. This caused a deep rift between the couple, and eventually the husband spoke up. He told Anna that if she did not take the entrance exam for the local national university, he would abandon her from tomorrow. He believed that a daughter who could not follow her father's instructions was not worth having in his sight. He gave her the option to leave the house and go to the university of her choice. But in return, her stepmother Julia would have to bear all of Anna's tuition and living expenses. He refused to provide any support. Oliver was a troublesome father who always put himself first, and his mother-in-law, who raised him to be this way, frequently visited our house where our grandchild was preparing for exams. She would constantly complain about minor things to me and Anna. Despite these circumstances, Anna managed to pass her first-choice art university and moved to New York, where she diligently studied design for 4 years. She started job hunting early and was able to join a well-reputed design company right after graduating. It has been 3 years since then, and Anna is now happily working as a freelance designer. Last year, she rented a place near our home, which serves as both her workplace and residence. Although she usually lives alone, she sometimes visits her parents' house. It can be tough for her when she has to work all night, but I am genuinely proud of Anna, who always has a smile on her face and works hard. However, my husband still does not approve of Anna's choices. She had the grades to get into the local national university, but she wanted to go to New York to study design at an art college. He sees this as extravagant and believes she should have found a husband at the company that hired her as a new graduate. I never thought I had such a foolish daughter, and I am embarrassed to even tell our neighbors about this. My husband always speaks negatively about Anna's choices. I had hoped that his perspective would change when he saw Anna standing on her own, getting lots of work and working hard. But it seems I was too hopeful. Moreover, he is now lashing out at me, who supported Anna during her high school years. During her high school career, Anna had many choices. Not only do you spoil our daughter, but your food tastes bad and you slack off on cleaning. I really married the worst woman. He complains almost every day. We both work, so it's only natural that he should also help with household chores. This is his true nature. In everything, if things don't go as he wishes, he keeps complaining endlessly. He's very much like his mother in that respect. She would often come to our house and repeatedly bully me. As years passed after becoming a couple, I found it more and more painful to be at home, and my workplace became my sanctuary. Being engrossed in work, I don't have to think about home, and I am duly appreciated at work. My husband also works at the same company, but we are in different departments, so we rarely meet. We seem to avoid each other more than when we were young. One day I was approached by my boss about a significant decision. It was an attractive proposition for me. A few days later, my husband made a shocking statement. He said, "I've decided to buy Anna a mansion worth $1 million. She quit her job and is now freelancing, working, and living in a cheap rental around here. It's better for her to live in a spacious, luxurious home with us. We even have a room for her to work. No matter what, Anna is our precious only daughter. I've already arranged it with the real estate agent." I was bewildered and asked, "What's gotten into you? Do you even have the money to buy a mansion worth $1 million? My husband replied, "You think I don't have that kind of money, don't you?" I responded, "Of course I don't, but you do. Plus we can sell this house and my mother's house." My husband then said, "Wait, what are you talking about?" Seeing my repulsion, he smirked and said, "Did you think I didn't know? You hid $500,000 of insurance money from your previous husband from me, didn't you? With that, we can buy the perfect property. We will all live there, my mother, us, and Anna. The insurance money of $500,000, the money from selling my mother's house, and the money from selling this house. If we put it all together, we can afford it. It's a great idea, isn't it?" My husband asked. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Has my husband gone mad? There's so much to address here. I had so many things to say, but I wasn't sure where to start. My mother is getting old and it's hard for her to do housework. She was delighted, thinking that if you and Anna were there, she wouldn't have to worry, even if she became bedridden someday. I asked, "Wait, you already told your mother?" My husband responded, "Of course, I talked about it. It's our style, mine and Mom's. To talk about good things as soon as possible. Mom is even considering moving out on her own. You would be happy if my mom was always smiling, right?" A surge of intense anger welled up inside me. This is no joke. What is the matter? Do you have a problem? If you oppose it, it's divorce. Oliver had unilaterally decided to buy a luxurious house worth $1 million with the insurance money from my deceased former husband. Not only that, he intended to unilaterally impose household chores and caregiving for his mother onto his wife and daughter, who are devoted to their work. The moment I learned this, my heart turned cold, and I decided not to show him any mercy. So if I object, it's divorce. I decided not to show him any mercy. So, if I object, it's divorce. Just wait a moment. I took out an envelope from my desk drawer, and from within that envelope, I produced a divorce certificate, placing it before my husband. "Here it is. I have already signed it, so I just need your signature." Seeing the divorce certificate, my husband was stunned into silence. He probably had not expected to see it come out of my desk drawer, a place always in his sight. But this was just the beginning. Thinking of my upcoming retaliation and his response to it, I felt a bit excited. His biggest mistake was gleefully revealing his plans to me, showing all his cards. The precious insurance money I received after the sadness of losing my former husband and the important time of my and my daughter's lives, I could not let them be used for such things. My husband, who lightly mentioned divorce, was now in shock. Seeing the actual divorce certificate before him to my husband, who was speechless, I conveyed my long-standing feelings. You never understand that both your wife and daughter have their feelings and circumstances. I have grown tired of living under your and your mother's complaints and sarcastic remarks. I have been set on divorce for a while now. It was just hard to find the right moment, but now that you have brought up divorce, it's easier. My husband listened silently. So if I oppose buying a $1 million mansion, it's divorce. I am opposed, so let's divorce. I need your signature. Perhaps my husband just wanted to feel superior when he mentioned divorce. But faced with my serious intent, he mumbled, "No, please calm down." I'm very calm. Since we have agreed on divorce, a mutual agreement, divorce is easier. If I submit this divorce certificate to the city office, our divorce will be finalized. But if we go for a mediated divorce, it apparently takes an average of 3 mediations and more than 6 months from the application to the divorce decision. That's tough. As expected, my husband blew up. I was just joking about divorce. What are you thinking? Bringing out a divorce certificate? Well, I've thought about many things. If you refuse to sign, I'll explain the procedure. First, I'll file for mediation at the family court. Then, both of us will receive a summons from the family court. We'll both have to take the same day off work. That's unacceptable. Then all you have to do is sign here. With that, I obtained the completed divorce certificate and promptly submitted it to the city office. I called Anna, who had mentioned having a less busy day at work. She was delighted with the news. "So you finally got divorced, Mom? I want to hear more, and I have things to share. Stay at my apartment tonight." "Thank you. I will." Like me, Anna had long been angered by Oliver and his mother's outrageous behavior. Dad was really terrible. I think divorcing him was the right decision. It might sound inappropriate, but I want to say congratulations on the divorce. That night, Anna and I discussed our next steps for further retaliation against Oliver. About 10 days later, on a day off, Anna and I visited Oliver's house, or should I say, my ex-husband's house. The place that had been my home just 10 days ago now felt like a stranger's. I felt no attachment to it. As soon as I rang the doorbell, my ex-husband appeared. "What's gotten into you two coming here together like this? Did you reflect on what happened and come to apologize?" While I was irritated at my condescending ex-husband, I replied in a somewhat timid voice, "Yes, that's right. We've done many things we regret, so we both came to apologize. Dad, I know I've had a bad attitude and made you uncomfortable in the past. I'm sorry." I was impressed by Anna's acting skills, but my ex-husband seemed genuinely pleased, apparently not realizing it was an act. He said, narrowing his eyes, "So both of you finally realize your mistakes. I'm glad you did." But he looked curious, seeing us holding large bags. "Why are you both carrying such large bags?" Both of us held bags that were bulging, but we made sure the contents were not visible by tying the bag tightly. I took out a bundle of cash from one bag to show my ex-husband. There were 100 real $100 notes. Anna and I discussed it. "You want that $1 million mansion, right? The insurance money from my previous husband is $500,000. It's not appropriate here at the entrance, so may we go to the safe?" While ensuring I wasn't lying with my statement, I spoke. My ex-husband's eyes were fixed on the bundle of $10,000 notes. Right, it would look suspicious if someone saw us. "Quickly put it in the safe." He invited Anna and me into the house, and as we headed towards the room with the safe, he said, "You'll have some tea before you leave, right?" and headed to the kitchen. It had only been about 10 days since I left the house, and the place was a mess. Clothes and garbage were scattered everywhere. My ex-husband had always been bad at housekeeping and organizing. Without me to keep things in order, he must be struggling. The thought made me want to laugh out loud, but of course I held back. Anna and I sat in front of the safe and began to transfer the contents from our bags into it. However, the bundle of $10,000 notes I showed to my ex-husband was returned to my bag. Anna and I walked to her workplace, which was also a residence. Along the way, she reached out with her right hand and firmly grasped my left hand. It had been a long time since we walked hand in hand as mother and daughter. The next time we would see each other was uncertain. "Mom, please take care of yourself," I said as I took the prepared luggage from inside the entrance and headed to my new place. Anna saw me off with a smile and I replied, "Yes, and you too, Anna. I'll message you when I arrive. Please, there's a time difference, so reply whenever it's convenient for both of us." 3 days later, I received a call from my ex-husband while I was sleeping in my new home. "Hey, did you two dump trash in my safe? Where's the $500,000? No, you noticed just now. Don't you remember exactly what I said that day?" "Yes, you've always been bad at understanding what Anna and I say. I can reproduce exactly what I said this time. Listen closely. Anna and I discussed it. You want that $1 million mansion, right? The insurance money from my previous husband is $500,000. We don't want to do this at the entrance, so may we go to the safe, see? I only stated the facts. You misunderstood on your own." My ex-husband was silent. That day, Anna and I visited his house to say our goodbyes to the home we were familiar with. And we also played a little prank on my ex-husband. We came with big bags and merely stated facts about him wanting a $1 million mansion, the insurance money from my previous husband being $500,000, and wanting to go to the safe instead of leaving at the entrance. How he interpreted that was his problem. If he had demanded to see the contents of the bags that day, we would have shown him immediately, but he never tried to verify the truth. He's always been the type to prioritize his own convenience. And you don't like it when Anna and I act on our own will, do you? You'd prefer if your wife and daughter just followed your orders and did household chores, gave you money and time as told. Isn't that your ideal? But reality is different. Both Anna and I will walk the path we want at our own pace. After silently listening, my ex-husband started speaking, and what he said left me speechless. "I understand. I won't complain anymore. So I want you to live with me again. I can't imagine a life without Julia. The house turns into a mess without you. You don't understand at all. You're just inconvenienced without me. But I'm not your housekeeper. Besides, I'm in France now." Yes, France is where I moved to from Anna's place. No matter what my ex-husband says, I can't live with him again. I've been offered a job transfer abroad for a while now. It was a very attractive offer, so I decided to accept it. I've always loved French and traveling abroad. There was some hesitation, but when you mentioned divorce, I made up my mind. This job transfer opportunity came just when I was dealing with various concerns and uncertainties. I had always wanted to work in a trading company since college because I dreamt of living abroad. Now, not only is my dream coming true, but I'm also free from my ex-husband and his mother. Isn't it like killing two birds with one stone? I had told my daughter Anna about this beforehand, but hadn't informed my ex-husband, so he was surprised. And that's why I couldn't find you at the company cafeteria. You could have told me in advance if you were going to France. There's no need to tell you anymore. We're strangers now. Oh, by the way, Anna said she wants to have a video call with both of us using a messaging app. How about 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow? I wonder if Anna is thinking about living with all 3 generations together. He always speaks with such unrealistic optimism. Who knows? You can ask her directly during the call tomorrow. Although I didn't tell my ex-husband, I had a slight idea of what Anna wanted to say. I fell asleep with a smile, imagining his reactions to what she would tell him. And then the next morning happened. I didn't want to see or hear from my ex-husband first thing in the morning. But due to the time difference, it couldn't be helped. I started the video call with my daughter. First, Anna spoke her mind to her father. "Dad, thank you for today. I loved you so much when I was a child. I was happy when you praised my test scores in elementary school." Seeing my ex-husband's tearful face, I almost felt sympathetic. But the crux of Anna's message was still to come. But that's all in the distant past. "Do you remember how you completely dismissed my career aspirations in my senior year of high school? That's when I realized I don't need you in my life. I set up my workspace and home near our old house because Mom was living there. I wanted to protect her from your verbal abuse and Grandma's mistreatment. Really, Anna, I had no idea. After Mom's divorce and transfer freed her, I decided to move away from home. So, I probably won't see you again. Please don't try to find me after this call." Upon hearing this, my ex-husband desperately responded, "Don't say that, Anna." He sounded much weaker than I had anticipated. "Perhaps it's truly painful to see both your wife and daughter walk away." However, Anna continues to string together harsh words without holding back. "I have to say this, Dad. You've always unilaterally imposed your preferences on Mom and me, spewing verbal abuse and hurting us. You need to recognize that and reflect on it. From now on, if you do something I dislike, I will consult with public institutions." That's all I wanted to say. Goodbye. With that, Anna finished her piece. Before ending the call, I had something to tell my ex-husband too. "I've explained our reasons for the divorce to my colleagues and relatives. Anna also asked me not to tell you or my mother-in-law where she's staying. Please take care of your mother till the end." After confirming that Anna ended the call, I hung up too. My ex-husband kept apologizing. "I understand. It's my fault. Please let me apologize in person. Just tell me when and where." But neither Anna nor I paid him any heed. Though Anna and I live across the ocean, various communication tools allow us to freely share what's on our minds. After voicing her long-held feelings, Anna had a good night's sleep and woke up with numerous work ideas. On the other hand, my ex-husband apparently quit his job and has become distant from everyone except his mother. He couldn't live with either me or Anna, and his financial plans had been utterly ruined. The idea of purchasing a $1 million mansion fell through. It seemed the consequences of his repeated selfish actions, disregarding the wishes of his wife and daughter, were too significant. "Dad, I wonder if he's going to live with Grandma. Who knows? Being a devoted son, he might sell either his or Grandma's house and live together with her." It's none of my business anymore, though. Right? They've always been close and they can't rely on anyone else. So they will probably figure things out. Just the two of them. Unlike my husband, I have been enjoying my time in France, working with new inspirations daily. I am surrounded by people from various countries, making every day a continuous intercultural experience. Moreover, I am thrilled that people understand my French. Accepting the overseas transfer was truly the best decision. Anna, as a freelance designer, seems to be making great strides as well. In a recent call, she exclaimed, "Mom, listen. Last month I earned more than double my salary from when I was employed. I have been given a lot of fulfilling tasks and it's been so much fun." At 53 and my daughter at 25, parting ways with Oliver, who was both my husband and her father, has given us both a newfound sense of freedom. "Hey Anna, why don't we plan our holidays and go on a trip someday?" "Let's do it. I want to. Life is long, and I believe there will be many twists and turns ahead just like before. But no matter what comes my way, I feel confident that I can overcome it using my wisdom and ingenuity. Both my professional and personal life are about to become even more interesting. I'm sure of it."